Oh, damn.
Come get a taste for America's favorite McCanns.
America's favorite McCanns. The guy said my timeline betrayed me.
124
That's
light
Yeah,
years.
already long.
we'll never get to say hi.
insane.
We'll never get to say hi
That's
until
insane.
we figure out teleportation or something, or maybe quantum computing and figure out
Probably.
a way to get us there. In
So
time,
what that
right?
really means is even if you travel at the speed of light, it's gonna take you
Yo, 124
Can
years.
you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, the light, it takes about 8 minutes for light to come to Earth from sun,
Sun,
right?
yeah.
You think about it, 124 years.
That's
crazy.
insane. All right, we're live. Welcome to the first episode of News, Nonsense, and More. I humbly, introduce Dilip to our first episode, and thank you for being here. All right. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. I know we've been talking about having this podcast for so long, and finally the first episode is here, and I'm so excited for all of us. And a little bit about myself. My name is Dilip, as you just mentioned. Came to the United States back in 2015.
Mhm.
So it's been about good 10 years.
10 years.
10 years, that's a long
Decade,
time, man.
bro.
Decade, man. I'm telling you, time flies so fast.
Yeah, man.
So
Kids are 10 years old now.
Yep, absolutely. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm building my business and financial services agency.
Okay.
But it's a very funny story how I ended up in the United States, and I quickly want to kind of share that with you today.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very traditional Nepali family. Okay,
Really?
And-
When you talk about traditional, how traditional?
so when I say traditional, it means okay, what do traditional Nepali parents want you to become? A doctor or
Okay.
an engineer?
Okay. Engineer,
So,
doctor.
yeah,
Those are the only two choices.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only
Okay.
choices you have. Okay. And yeah, my parents wanted me to become a doctor. And after I completed my high school, I wanted to become a doctor. And the process is very complicated. To
Yeah.
become a doctor, you need to, pass the test, and you need to be on that list. Top 40, 50 people get to study medical for free, and all that thing.
And
So I-
also be able to see blood.
Yeah, be able to see the
See
blood. So I failed. Okay. I
Hey,
sucked at it.
Okay,
So,
okay. Hey, listen, man. You got to find out some way or the other, right?
Yep, absolutely. You gotta
Okay,
find out
okay.
some way or the other. So I failed becoming a doctor,
Okay.
and I was struggling. I was like, man, what am I supposed to do now? Okay, and then I went back to my city because I was in the capital city, Kathmandu,
Uh-huh.
for my high school, and then after
So your family is not from Kathmandu?
no,
Oh, where are they
so
originally
from
from?
Butol. So
Butol?
yeah,
Oh,
it's a little
okay.
city in it's a little city in down south. So
Okay.
so I went back. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
went back, and it's a very funny story. And I was at my house on Facebook on my computer. I was just scrolling on my on Facebook, and I was talking to my friends. And one of my friends who was actually studying medicine in Bangladesh. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he texted me. He was a very good friend of mine. We studied from grade 6 to 10, in the same school, and we were kind of very close friends.
Yeah.
So he texted me. He said, let's go to the United States. I was like, what are you talking about?
Just like that.
Yeah, just
I'm
like
in
that.
Bangladesh, you're in Nepal. Let's just go to the U.S.
Yeah, just
Okay.
like that. The text popped up on my computer. He said, okay, let's go to the United States. I said, what are you talking about? You are studying medicine overseas.
Yeah.
And I know when I talked to you last time, you said you are done with your first semester. You passed it, and you are ready to go to the next semester. And now all of a sudden you're telling me that let's go to the United States. What's going on? And he said, I've realized that medical is not for me. That's what he said. He said, I don't see myself becoming a doctor.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. Okay. And then I was like, let's do it.
Okay. Just like that.
Just like that. I
That
said,
was how it happened.
that's how it
A
happened.
spontaneous plan of just like wanting to come to the United States because you guys discovered that medicine was not for you, for both of you.
For both of us. And he
Okay.
was actually studying. I could not even get to a medical school.
Okay, so he was like 2 steps ahead of you.
yeah, he was like 5 steps. I would say 5 steps.
Okay,
ahead,
5 steps ahead of you, and he was already in it, and he was like, "Nah, this is not for me."
yeah, he said it was not for him. And then I said, okay,
All right.
come back to Nepal, and then we can figure out what we need to do to get there.
What about the family? Like, okay, if I understand, like your mom then was like, "Oh, this guy didn't even get,
Mhm.
pass, and now he's like, what is he gonna do?" But his family must have been like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Like, you passed, you're there.
Mhm.
Why are you coming back? Like, what was that like? Did he tell you?
No, I have no idea
You
what
didn't want to know.
the conversation he had with his parents, but I told my parents, like, hey, mom, hey, dad, look, I want to go to the United States. And it was like, okay,
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
So they did not even question my decision to go, you
Okay.
know.
That's
So
good.
he came back, and then I went back to the capital city,
Okay.
and then we started. I started for SAT and all the all
Mhm.
the things that you need to do.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I ended up in the United States, man, back in 2015. It was not planned at all.
Not planned.
Not planned at
Like,
all.
how long does that entire process take?
So I would say it took me about 4 months. I would say 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it was easier back in the day
Yeah, it
too,
was
right?
easier back days. Yeah,
Yeah,
back in
yeah,
the days.
yeah. I mean, man, sometimes life, when throws you lemons, you kind of have to make lemonade somehow, right?
Yep, actually,
And
absolutely.
as far as me also knowing you and all that stuff, like, you were in IT as well, so even before you made that jump from medical to into IT,
Mhm.
or what you're doing right now,
Mhm.
you kind of like have made multiple jumps, it seems,
Mhm.
right?
Multiple.
Multiple jumps.
Yeah.
And based on, like, you and what you said, what you told us about us was, you are in the financial sector now, right?
Mhm.
But that in itself, like, you went from IT
Mhm.
to the financial sector.
Mhm.
So explain to us about how that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've tried so many things. Let me tell you. Before even doing IT, I was doing engineering because I have a bachelor's in engineering. So I did that for a couple of years. Now work out well. Tried getting into IT. I
Mm-hmm.
did not have any IT job at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that did not work out, now and then I found a mentor,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
somehow when I was looking for opportunity. So this platform came to me, and now I'm building the financial service industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that switch was I realized that I wanted to do something on my own.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
just imagine you have a job, you're working for someone else. Let's just say you are in that job in that company for 30 years, and after
Yeah.
you retire, what do you have after 30 years? Nothing
Mm-hmm.
besides that 401k, and on and government is probably going to tax you half on that money,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that was the thought process behind it. And also, when I got laid off from my second job,
Mm-hmm.
that was an eye opener for me. Okay, someone else is having a control over
Mm-hmm.
my finances. Someone
Mm-hmm.
else is kind of, having control over my life, the decision I'm going to make, what am I going to do,
Mm-hmm.
where am I going to live, what am I going to drive, and all that. You see the financial uh so
Implications.
implications that I
Yeah.
might have in my life. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, I need to do something on my own. And
Mm-hmm.
I started traveling for all these events, self-improvement seminars, and in one of the seminars that was happening
Mm-hmm.
in Dallas, and I found a couple of people who were in this business, and I said, okay, what do you guys do? And they kind of explained me what they do, what the process to get in and all. And I was like, okay, let me give it a shot.
Okay.
There's nothing to lose, right?
Exactly.
So that's how I ended up.
I mean, you've already jumped from like medical to engineering to
Yeah.
IT to I guess you were in supply chain management, right? From what you told me
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
right?
more like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's very interesting. Before you go into financial, so what do you think? You just like, so that way you can tell the people, the viewers and listeners, what do you think you learned the most? Like, what was the toughest things that you had to go through? What are the obstacles that you had to face throughout your entire time? Let's say making those transitions until you find out, because you also did work, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a point, I'm thinking like you probably were like, okay, you know what, this is it. I got a job now. I'm gonna work my 9 to 5, and so on and so forth. So, what do you think? That experience was like. I mean, what did it teach you? So that way, it gives an idea, because obviously you kind of like went that route. You want to do the medical thing, the engineer, then you worked. You had two separate jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were doing whatever you graduated with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you telling me that. But there were certain things that you must have like gotten from it. So I don't know if you wanted to, kind of explore or expand on that. So that way it kind of gives us like an idea of like why you kind of shifted towards
Mm-hmm.
the finance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a very good question. So you know, sometimes people don't even know what they want to do,
Yeah.
and if you look at it, everybody, what do they tell you? They tell you to go to school and get a job.
Mm.
that's the automatic route for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to be successful, you gotta go to school, you gotta have a degree, and then you gotta work. So that might not be the route for everybody.
Yeah.
And so the reason I was hopping around with different, field and what I want to do and all
Mhm.
that was I was actually happening for a reason.
Yeah.
Kind of made me realize, okay, this is not what I want to do. There's a
Mhm.
reason I did not get into medical school, because if I really wanted to, I would have gotten into it.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
And then there's a reason I came here. Okay, I graduated. I was working. I thought that was for me, but I could, I realized that, just like what I said before, like I cannot work for someone else.
Mm.
I
You didn't feel content.
yeah, absolutely. I don't want nobody to tell me, hey, you need to do this. You need to be here at this time. You get off at this time. Take a lunch break at this time. So I thought I could do it, but
Mhm.
when I actually started doing it, I realized, okay, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. So I'm glad that I got laid off. To be honest,
Mhm.
that was probably uh, one of
Ble-
the nicest thing that happened to me. I would
Blessing
say
in
the
disguise.
blessing in disguise. Absolutely. So just like what I said, man. And then I kind of realized, okay, I don't want to work with someone else. And
Mhm.
then when everything, I kind of reflect back on time and see what I've really done and how I ended up here. And I say, okay, everything's happening for a reason.
Mhm.
Because right now, what I'm doing is I absolutely love it,
Mhm.
because I don't have to answer to anybody. I make my own schedule. How much money do I want to make? I can, kind
Yeah.
of, there's no cap on how much money I can make. Because if you are in a job, your salary is just $5,000, $6,000. That's it.
Mhm.
That's the cap, right? You're
Yeah.
cap
Yeah.
on that money. So I absolutely love it. So I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And for some people, it might take a little bit of time to kind of realize what do they really want to do.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely, something that even myself, I worked in, like, so you kind of like figured that out within a year and a half to 2 years.
Mhm.
For me, I was in the corporate side for like 13 years.
Wow, 13 years. That's a
13
long
years, a
time to
long
be in
time,
corporate.
dude.
Yep.
I worked for Dell Computers, AT&T, then Bank of America, and then next thing you know, my family, my cousins were like, "Hey, let's get into business. You can do that." I was in New York,
Mhm.
so I can understand, like, when you say, like, sometimes people kind of realize things in different moments of time. Some people,
Mhm.
like you take the decision within 1.5 year, 2 years, you know what it is, you jump right on it.
Mhm.
Or maybe some people take their time, like I took
Mhm.
my time. And but I also like value what I learned
Mhm.
from
Absolutely.
like the corporate side, how to communicate with people,
Mhm.
understand like how the market actually works, because it gives me like an idea of like what I should do with my business, what I should look out for, right?
Mhm.
Be able to make certain decisions, in advance, before, let's say, the market, or let's say the housing crisis happens, or like
Mhm.
the stock market is going to go down. You can kind of like understand what's going on, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. um my other question to you is, since you're doing this now,
Uh-huh.
right? Obviously you going from field to field to field, and now you're in the financial sector, right?
Mhm.
If you want to elaborate on what you actually do, you can say that too. But my question is, when you got into this, what were the challenges you faced,
Mm.
and how did you overcome them?
So when I switch to what I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
okay.
And you can and tell the people what you're doing right now too. Like, I'm pretty sure people would kind of want to know, like, kind of
Mhm.
just a little bit. Like, you don't have to go too into it, but at
Mhm.
least give them an idea.
So
If
yeah, absolutely. So if you look at right now, if you look at our society, people are depressed and people are dependent on what? The single-handed income.
mm,
They have one source of income, and because there's only one source of income, they are not able to have what? Quality family time. They're
mm-hmm,
compromising their lifestyle. And if you talk to everybody, especially immigrant who came from overseas, they say, "Oh man, America is a land of opportunities, the dream country." But what happens to all those dreams when you come here? They die off. Why? Because your income is limited and you're working for someone else.
yeah,
Okay. So what we actually do is we also give an opportunity for people.
mm-hmm,
They want to learn something on the side, if they want to, have this some kind of side income on the side, maybe a couple $1,000s a month,
mm-hmm,
so that's one thing what we do. And
mm-hmm,
the second thing is we educate. Our main core philosophy is to educate people around money,
mm-hmm,
because one third of American have $0 in savings. Can you
Yeah.
imagine how scary that is?
Yeah.
Living in America, one of the wealthiest nation in the entire planet,
Mhm.
and not even having $500 in the bank
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like people when they get sick, they either die or just go
Mhm.
bankrupt, or end up in the
Absolutely.
streets.
Absolutely. One of the top reasons for families to go bankrupt in the United States is because of medical bills.
Yeah.
You can look at it.
Yeah.
And what we do is we educate people around money. We
Mhm.
educate people around investment and how this works. And people say, oh, there are financial products out there. Yes, absolutely. There's so many there. Ever since the market started, there has been financial product, right?
Mhm.
The problem is not with the product. The problem is the education around those products,
So what it is?
right? Okay,
Yeah.
what is best for me?
Mhm.
How do these products even work, right? So that's what we do. We provide the education around that money.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our core philosophy is save at least 10% of your
Mhm.
net paychecks, at least 10%. And people argue, oh, that's not enough. Yeah, absolutely, that's not enough. But you
Yeah.
need to get started somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's the sweet spot. Start saving at least 10%
Mhm.
using three rules of money: compounding, risk management, save money on taxes. And people say, okay, why do I need to do it? To accomplish three goals: income replacement,
Mhm.
income protection,
Yeah.
and generational wealth. So
Yeah.
that's our second philosophy. And our third philosophy is self-improvement.
Mhm.
Because what happens is when you come to entrepreneurship, or when you're building a business, when you're working as an independent contractor, that's a whole different story. It's a whole different hustle. It's not like just working for someone else on a salary.
Mhm.
Because if somebody wants to make more income as a business or as a 1099 contractor or whatever it is,
Yeah.
they need to be better with time. They need to get better, because the amount of money they're making right now is the reflection of who they really are.
Yeah.
So that's our core, the third philosophy that we
Mhm.
kind of educate people on. So what we're doing right now is we're educating people about money. We're educating people about how important self-improvement is and how they can go from a single-handed income to a kind of multi-handed income that's kind of generated by system driven.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, like you definitely like exuberate a lot of like passion
Mm-hmm.
behind it, right? For
Mm-hmm.
someone who's like jumped from like multiple different things, which is impressive,
Yep.
which is very impressive. But I'm pretty sure that didn't come easy.
It was not. It was not. One of the hardest thing that I had to go that I had to overcome was rejections.
Yeah, no one
When
likes getting
you
rejected.
transition from a salary to a commission side sales and all that,
Yeah,
the first thing people need to understand is people are going to reject you.
people will say 50 no's until you hear that one
15
yes.
no's, yes, absolutely. And we humans are not designed for rejections. We seek social
I want to
validation.
know, how did it feel after you got your first rejection?
It was tough.
It was tough.
And it was tough. And who do you reach out to when you start a business? Your family, your
Yeah.
friends. Hey, I've launched a product. I've launched a t-shirt brand, or hey, I'm selling these bags.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so you're basically reaching out to your friends, your families. Hey, can you support me and all that? And when the closest people that you thought are close to you and they reject you, man, it's tough.
It's tough, right?
And
I mean, it's also tough on them because they probably haven't planned for it and all that stuff. And
yeah,
I understand
absolutely.
what you're
Yeah,
doing, right?
Yeah.
So they obviously can't take that personally up to a certain point. But
Oh no.
but it does give you an idea of like, oh, it gives you a realistic idea, like, oh damn, just because I know people, they're not just going to say yes, right? There has to be, it's more than that. You know what I mean? Because you have to develop skill, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So what do you think would be the number one skill you developed in
So
your
I would say the number one skill that I have developed over time is being able to listen to what people say.
That's actually very, very important. Yeah.
Because everybody likes to talk. Everybody likes to talk. And if you want somebody to like you, just listen to them. Just ask questions and listen to them. And I did not know that.
Yeah.
And I was and you know me.
Yeah,
we've been
yeah,
knowing you for so I like to talk, and I know you like to
Oh,
talk.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm listening right now.
Yeah, and then when I understood that, okay, I need to be more actively listening to people, and that to bring that change on me,
Mhm.
that was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough because
Because you have that knee jerk reaction, just want to say something right away, right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you've been programmed in a way for 25 years, 20 years.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden you want to change that programming in you.
Yeah.
Your body is going to resist you.
Yeah. I think
Your body, your
my
mind, everything is
especially the
going to
mind,
resist you.
dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you caught up on something because like when I was in AT&T and I was doing sales first before I went into management and stuff, and I had to like manage people. One of the toughest things was arguing with someone because they're not listening to you, because you feel like you kind of like do your own research, what the right answer is, and being able to tell someone the right answer and they're not listening was the toughest thing. And I remember AT&T had like a course with Harvard University, and they had this like communications class, and exactly the same thing you said. It's so simple. Listening is so simple, and then when you listen, you know exactly how to like triangulate that conversation into making the other person kind of like agree with you.
Yep, absolutely. So when you said argument, so I remember this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale. So in one of the chapters, he said, if you argue with somebody, you are stupid.
Yeah.
You are straight up stupid, because there's no way you're going to win argument.
Yeah.
Because what they think is right for them,
Yep.
right to them, and what you think is right to you.
Mm-hmm.
So an effective way to do is kind of asking question. This is where you want to get them.
Yeah.
You kind of listen to them and kind of ask question and kind of bring them
to that place.
To that point. Okay, okay. Do you think? Okay, yes, no. Okay, do you think? And then okay, then finally they realize, because when I say it's wrong, but when you say it's right.
Yeah.
So that's the way to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, listen, that's one of the biggest issues with the current like situation, right? All these people like in the political side, red or blue, they just keep arguing with each other, and they don't never listen. And it makes huge amount of sense in what you're saying,
absolutely.
And yeah, man. I mean, like, listen, it goes to show that at least the listeners and the viewers, at least what I can get from you is that it's not just because something doesn't work doesn't mean it's the end. Right? You can always move on to other things, better things. You can figure out certain things, and there's no age gap in that as well. I'm a testament to it too. Like, just like this podcast, it was in my mind for the 4, 5 years, 6 years.
Wow.
But we've talked about it so many times. You should do one. I should do one, and then like lo and behold, it happened. And kudos to Mike for pushing me. Oh, by the way, Mike is our other guest. He's off camera because he's very good looking. I'll keep saying that every episode. That the camera will break if we put the cameras on him. Just letting you know.
Yeah, let's not do it because
because we don't want the attention on us, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not a guest. I'm a host.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant to say the guest, and he's one of our hosts, like me, but he's just too good looking. So I need all the attention.
Yep.
And he really talks. He's like Batman, always in the shadows. But anyways, yeah, man. I mean, communication aspect wise, you kind of hit the nail on it. What do you see yourself like? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, what do you think? Like, I mean, how long have you been doing this? And
so I've been doing this for about a year and a half. I started doing this back in December.
Okay.
I got my license because to do any business in the United States, you need to have a license.
Yeah, especially in the financial
especially
side.
in the financing. It's very highly regulated industry.
Yeah,
I had my license back in January, so I would say a year and a half.
Okay.
Almost a year and a half. Yeah.
And you've seen like I see the passion, so I'm guessing you've been growing.
I've been growing. I just came back from one of the events, one of the self-improvement seminars from New Jersey.
Yeah. And I saw you. Your Instagram pictures in New York.
It was insane, man. Got to learn. So
how you like my home city, New York?
It was actually it was the first time.
It was your first time in New York?
It was my first time. I've been in the US for 10 years.
You should have asked me. I would have told you where to
go.
No,
I figured it out. Yeah.
I mean,
it was a challenge in the beginning to kind of figure out how the subways work and everything.
I mean, that you can figure. It's pretty easy once you get there. But like, I'm just saying, like, places to eat and stuff like that. There are places in New York where like hole in the walls. Oh man, like the food in New York. Please tell me you had pizza.
I did.
How's the pizza?
It was great.
Better than Texas, right?
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah,
it's the best pizza.
Yeah.
In the United States of America.
Yeah.
Don't want to offend the Italian viewers because they'll be like, "Hey, it's pizza," but no, pizza in America. I mean, in New York is like one of the best.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like when I went to New York last year when my dad got sick, and I think for the lunch, dinner, and late night dinner was all pizza
Wow.
because I missed it so much.
Wow.
It's so good.
It
So
is.
good.
It is. I don't blame you for that because pizzas are really good in New York. So
But okay, what would be the difference? I mean, New York is also the financial hub, so I know you're in New Jersey, but you got to see that. Like, what was it like? What was the
So-
experience?
I did not get that much time to spend in New York. So I arrived in New Jersey on Thursday, and then I went to New York. I just had about 5-6 hours to explore. So
Okay.
I had to get back right to my hotel because we had an event the next day for 2 days back to back. So I kind of had to, prepare everything for the event. I went to World Trade Center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I explored that, and we went to Times Square. So it was, man, there's so many people.
Yeah.
I was amazed by the amount of people you see
A lot
up
of
there,
people
man.
in
Just
Times
like
Square,
ant coming out of hole. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's
It
crazy.
was insane. Yeah, but yeah.
And it's like not the locals; it's all tourists too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
In New York City, man, you go there, it's majority of them in Times Square. That little like was it like 4 or 5 streets that avenue?
Mhm.
Everyone is a tourist.
Mhm.
And the coolest thing in Times Square is every avenue
Mhm.
is like different culture.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like you can have one avenue where it's like all like Korean food.
Mm.
The next avenue is all Indian food. And the next one will be like all Italian food.
Mm.
And then there's Brazilian. I'm telling you, man, it's like the grid system over there that they have created is one of it was the person was a genius. Not saying that the person itself was probably good, but like because it was designed way back in
way
the
back.
right?
Probably in
And-
1800s.
no, not in the 1800s.
No,
I think New York. I think like I don't know, was it 50s or 60s? I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay.
But the design wise was like grid system and everything was so thought out for such a long time.
For a long time. That's exactly what I was telling to my friends. Man, whoever designed this city has probably thought 200 years in the future.
Yep.
It's 1624.
1624.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, no, New York was founded in 1624. I'm talking about the redesign of the city.
Let's look it up. Yeah.
Because you can look it up. You can look it up. The redesign. I remember I took it in class, and the redesign of the grid system. Just look at the grid system of New York City. Grid, not great, not great. So grid. Because it's basically all it is squares. It's just like it's like redesign.
So
Oh,
1800s.
it was in 1811. Holy crap!
Yeah, I told you.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Can you imagine somebody designing back in 1800 still working super efficiently?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I cannot like get around Dallas. I always
No.
have to use a GPS. When I was in New York, man, I knew exactly what city, what avenue go to. I knew this was the bridge. I need to go back home because I used to live in Long Island. And me and my buddies, we used to like drive out. I remember you eat halal guys, right?
What do you mean?
Halal guys. Have you ever had halal guys?
Yeah.
Okay, you've had halal guys. So the original halal guys
Okay.
was in the corner of 53rd and 6th.
Okay. So he was founded in New York.
It was founded in New York. It was a
Wow.
cart. It wasn't even a store. It was like this cart. And they had like this white sauce and this hot sauce. Hot sauce was ridiculously like spicy, right? But it's not the same. Like you go to halal guys, even in Irving and stuff like that, there's like restaurants. It's not the same as when you have it originally from there. And me and my friends used to drive 45 minutes,
Wow.
45 minutes to an hour sometimes, depending on traffic, from Long Island all the way to city just to have that food. And
Wow.
when we used to go party and stuff like that, when we were in college, that was, it's at 4 o'clock in the morning, the best thing to have before heading home,
What, do they open 24 hours?
No, they open from like 7 o'clock in the evening to like maybe like 6-7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's late night, man. And it was so cheap. It was like $5. You just get a platter and a Coke.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. I
That's
mean,
all
like,
you need, yeah.
After all that partying, that's all
Yeah.
you needed. But yeah, no, but coming back to but Jersey's a little bit different though.
It is. It's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. When we used to live in New York, we used to say Jersey was dirty.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just the
Is it
same.
really dirty, or do you guys just think it's dirty?
I mean, New York's kind of dirty too. Like
it is.
man,
It is.
it's
It was
dirty.
filthy. The subways
Yeah.
were filthy, man. That's what I was telling to one of my friends. Man, it's my first time riding in subway, and I probably saw 1,000 different type of people.
Yeah.
Like each and every character, and everybody's on their phone, no social life at all. And I was traveling with my wife. I also had a couple of friends with me, and we were kind of having conversation. We're excited because we had an event
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
in.
yeah.
We're
You're a
traveling.
tourist,
We're tourists, and we're kind of talking, and everybody's on their phone
just like
constantly.
doing their
They're
thing,
just
right?
getting into train, looking at their phone. They're getting off, looking at their phone. I was like, look at these people.
Yep. It's the
And it was
loneliest city.
it's low. That's exactly what I said to my friend, because these people are working professionally. They go to work, they come back to their house, and they don't have nobody to talk to, and all they do is just scroll on their phone. Man, it was very sad to see that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like it is quite an epidemic. I know, like you can. It's the only city where you're surrounded by thousands of people,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't talk to
You don't
anybody.
talk to anybody. Yep.
And did you ever like walk slowly by mistake?
No, I mean you cannot, because the
Yeah.
crowd is so much. You need to walk.
Yeah, you gotta walk
yeah,
fast.
You gotta walk.
You know, if you
fast,
walk
yeah.
slowly, they start cursing at you. Like random people just curse at you. Like, what's going on with you?
Absolutely. And I remember in Times Square, I lost my wife like a couple of times because she was taking pictures like every light and all that. I was like, where did she go?
Yeah.
And I had to go all the way back, and the people, there's so much crowd. And I was like, you
It's too
need to
much.
kind of walk fast.
Yeah, you
because
need to walk fast.
You got to keep up with me.
Yeah, New York is a different kind of city.
It is.
But
it
you know
is.
what? I enjoy New York City.
I did
it's
too.
fun,
I
you
did
know.
too.
I lived there for 15 years.
Wow.
And I was in Long Island mostly, but just going to the city, you always could experience something different.
What do you mean?
Meaning like every part of the city, like if you go downtown, you go to Soho, you go to Financial District, you go to like, the where you take the ferry to go to see Statue of Liberty. You go to different parts of Times Square to go eat, like different restaurants. It's just so there. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like you could probably live a lifetime in New York and still not discover all of New York.
Yeah, that's
It's-
deep.
it's-
Yeah, you
yeah.
got so many options.
It's so many,
Yeah.
and there's always new things coming, right? So that's the one thing with New York. But
Yeah, absolutely. That place is. That
yeah,
place
man.
Is
I
great.
mean,
yeah.
speaking of New York, there was one story that I came across, which was pretty funny.
What is
So there was this guy named 𝖒𝖚𝖘𝖎𝖈.
Okay.
So he was basically in a court case about employment. He was disputing employment issues, right? My man, who's about 75 years old, 70 plus. So he goes to court, and he says, the judge is in the courtroom and all that stuff, and then he plays a video, right, of this guy saying, "Hey, my fellow judges and everybody else," and she's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Who's this guy? Who's this guy in the video?" You know, and then the guy goes, "Oh, I made that." He said, "That is an AI avatar I created to represent me." So my man, who's 75 years old, somehow used AI to create a lawyer for himself to represent him in court, right? And the reason why obviously the judge shut it down. She's like, "Get this thing off my screen!" Like there's videos online for anybody who wants to go and check. It's hilarious. So the reason why he stated was he thought he had throat cancer prior, so he was kind of like, "Oh man, I can't speak," and then he had stage fright. So maybe he needs to come and take classes from you about how to speak. But imagine that, man. AI just being able to do what we could only dream of, right? And then just to add on to that, there was a law firm that utilized the same thing, but they did it to create or fabricate fictional research, right? In 2023, and they got fined by the FTC. They got fined $193,000 for using AI to fabricate stuff. So what do you think? AI, man. I mean, it does help us do a lot of like cool stuff.
It does. AI. It's probably the next biggest thing, because quantum computing is very closely related to AI. And are you familiar with Dr. Michio Kaku?
No.
No. So he's one of the scientists, and he said whoever cracks the code for quantum computing is going to rule the world economy. They are going to rule the world economy.
So how explain that? Like, how do you think they can rule it? Like, what are the implications of that?
So think about all the problems we can solve.
Okay.
Think about all the problems we can solve. Drugs, all these. There are so many problems that our classical computers cannot solve. And if we can crack the code on how we can kind of use the quantum computing to kind of solve all this problem, it's going to be insane. It's going
That's
to be
only
insane.
if the right people get their
The
hands
right
on
people,
it, right?
yeah, I mean,
Because like, come on, man. Like,
see,
if you can monetize, quantum computing, you crack that code and they charge you up the wazoo. Like kind of like, how the pharmaceutical
Yeah.
companies and all these insurance companies, like health insurance companies, do they act like the middleman and stuff like that. So I think the moment you kind of like try to monetize it, it could make it a little bit more complicated. But I hear what you're saying. If utilized it efficiently, I
Yeah.
think. And what do you think what is the one problem you want like quantum computing to solve in your perspective?
I don't know. Probably the Big Bang. Where did we come from?
Where we come from?
Yeah,
Man,
what
that's
how-
like
oh,
you try, but that kind of like learns from us, from what we know, right?
there are so many things we still need to we know what we know.
Yeah.
We know what we know. Like there's still some things that we don't know. So probably, that's probably one of the biggest questions. Where do we come from?
True.
Now our conversation is totally shifting.
Yeah, sure,
towards,
totally shifted somewhere else. But
but that
I mean, but that's the whole point, right? It shifts because of AI, right?
Yeah.
Do you think like this would? I don't think this was possible. Like if I look back myself in 2010 or even 2005 or 2001 when I came here, so many things, like the fact that we have a smartphone now, we that can do like a lot of different things where we had to be in front of a computer or a laptop, like those are things that I never even predicted or thought that would happen. We would just have imaginations on that stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, like, but
Yeah, it's crazy how AI has come along all these ways, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Google search is probably like, AI will be the new Google search. That's why a lot of these companies are trying to like capture that market, because you have like Google has Gemini, then you have Microsoft over ChatGPT,
Copilot probably. Yeah.
Copilot, right?
Copilot,
Like, that's
yeah.
what they call it. And then I think Amazon's trying to create one. I think Twitter, like he has, or X has their one. But yeah, man, I mean, like, technology is something that's insane.
It's insane. I mean, if you look at all these new devices now, all of these new cell phones, your computers, your operating system, they all come with like embedded AI on them.
Yeah.
So that's how you know how big of a deal it is.
Yeah, even the pictures you take and everything like that.
absolutely.
It's like it's definitely like AI does the computational photography, right? That's why, like, if you look at DSLRs, like, that skill set that you need to take an amazing picture, it's now like post edited directly on your phone by taking that picture. And who does that better? It's that's the competition.
Absolutely. And I remember one of these videos, I saw it on Instagram. That guy said that the future programming language is going to be English just because of AI. You don't even have to know how to code. Just prompt it.
So you did the right thing about going from like IT to like whatever you're doing
Absolutely,
right now, right?
absolutely. No matter what the industry is, your job might be taken away by AI, but entrepreneurs, they will never go away.
They always find like a niche, like what people need, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And especially when it comes to sales, marketing, building a business, AI cannot do all that. It's not more about something. Sometimes it's more about emotions and making the right choice and the right decision. And I feel like, yes, AI is very advanced. It can do a lot of tasks, but when it comes to emotion, that's where the AI fails.
Yeah, because they're just robotic, right?
Yep.
Speaking of right decisions, I know we were talking about this a while back. Gen Z and their financial habits.
Man,
54% of Gen Zs are living in debt.
Somewhere around that number,
right?
Yep, absolutely.
54% of Gen Zs are living in debt. So apparently, I was looking up another news. I mean, this is more your thing, right? First of all, the Coachella tickets. They, like 54% of them, or most Gen Zs, finance their tickets. I remember, like, if I couldn't afford that ticket, I wouldn't go. But imagine being monthly. I mean, it's crazy. Like, and then apparently, the United States of America is the number one country. The total amount that people have used is accounted to more than the next 3 or 4 countries combined put together. United States has accounted $116 billion. And the next top countries are UK at 37 billion, Germany at 27, Australia at 18, and Sweden at 12. That's how much debt Gen Z is. What do you think? As a financial guy, what advice would you give like a Gen Z right now, making those life choices of living in debt?
See, just like what you say, it's a choice. It's a choice. If somebody wants to go on a debt, that's their choice, right?
Yeah, but like,
It's-
but doesn't that eventually hurt everybody though?
It does. It does. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. And you are the one that's facing the consequences too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's more about the mindset around money. It's
Mhm.
more about how do you the psychology behind money and all that thing. And when it comes to mindset around money, there's two types of mindset. One is poor mindset and one is wealthy mindset.
Yeah.
What does poor mindset does? They get an income. What do? They borrow money.
Yeah.
And what happens when you borrow money? You borrow money, you go to debt,
Yep.
right? So that's the poor mindset, and that's exactly the 50% of the people that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
but this is like an entire generation. though.
entire generation, and part of the reason I feel is probably the lack of education around money, you know,
Yeah.
and also the priorities, man. Today's it's all about showing off. Hey, I went to Coachella.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Social
fun.
media.
Social media. It's all on your Instagram. People, oh man, how was it? Let me see some videos. So it kind of makes you important. Oh, these people want to,
Yeah, you
they're
want
talk-
that
yeah, you
acknowledgement, that
acknowledgement
recognition.
of people that want to see all the videos. Now they're messaging you on Instagram. How was it? Asking feedback. Now you kind of feel special
Yeah.
when you spend that money. It's all about. There's so many factors that comes into play.
You think social media and is a huge part to play with the debt you see just because of a lifestyle that people are living?
Absolutely. People, there's this saying. I'm not sure if I'm going to say it right. Don't try to keep up with the Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
People are broke, and there's so many people I know. Like they get a better job. What do? Buy a
Spend
better
money.
car.
Yeah.
Buy a better car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, man. Everybody's posting their new cars, new house, going on vacation. Okay,
Competing with each other.
competing.
Like,
Okay, this
from
guy went on a
social status,
vacation.
yeah.
Okay, I've got some money. Even if I don't have money, I'm gonna finance my ticket
Yeah,
just so I can
yeah.
post it on YouTube, or Instagram. So
That's so true. Like I feel like especially our community too, from the police community. I don't want to like hate on them, but like I feel like we like to show off a lot.
yeah,
Like if it's and the crazy thing is um we're such a small population, right?
very.
It's
Small.
not like Hollywood, like 350 million, or you go to India, it's like I don't know, like 1.3, 1.4 billion people, right? Like we're all trying to like be popular and like pick a part of a pie that's already small.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
And I don't understand what it is. We always and I always feel like we always end up competing with each other.
Mm.
We don't ever want to go in like the international stage. I mean, like if you look at the CEO of Google, he's Indian. There's so many different companies that have Indian CEOs, doctors, like they're very well and renowned, right? I mean, I can't think of that many from the Nepal. I don't know. Maybe that's also because like I didn't live in Nepal for too long. But like sometimes when someone is doing something very important, you hear about them, and I don't hear that much. I mean, I felt really proud when I saw those guys who came on Shark Tank, where they gave that little like they came up with those doggy treats. I don't know if you know about them. They came on Shark Tank. It was an episode such a long time ago.
Okay.
What did they call it? Like
𝖒𝖚𝖘𝖎, I think.
Dog chew.
dog chew, right?
Yeah.
Dog
Mind
chew.
chew. And what is it actually? Like it was meant for people, right? What is
Durkwa.
churpa, right?
Yeah.
Durkwa. Yeah. Surba Durkwa.
It's
Yeah.
actually cheese, like
Cheese, yeah.
Hard cheese, yeah. So who in their right minds would have thought like that cheese would be a great doggy treat? And then they're like, I think they were even offered like millions for
Wow.
steak, but they didn't take they didn't. If I remember the episode correctly, they didn't take the deal, right? But that gave them a little bit of exposure, and then their companies, it blew up, dude. Like they did really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did really well.
Is it a public company or is it?
I have no idea.
No.
I haven't really checked it. I mean,
Probably
like, can you
private.
actually check, Mike? Like, what is their
I
company?
tried to check, but there's not too much of information on.
It's probably private.
Yeah, it's probably private. But that's what I'm trying to say, though. Like, it could be big, right? Because everybody in America loves dogs. Like, I have yet to see like a company that's like a Nepalese like own like Microsoft or something. Not maybe like Microsoft, but like something out there where like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
We don't
Something
hear we don't
different.
hear that much. All I hear most of the time is just things like small little things, and they're always like they say in Nepal like "kutatani,"
Mhm.
right? They always like pull each other's legs. That's what it actually means. I don't know why. Why do you think that is?
It's probably because we don't like to think out of the box.
You think so?
Yeah, because if you look at it, you know, what I think is we kind of follow what Indian people do,
Mm-hmm.
right? They've been in these states for before Nepalese came and kind of started exploring the United States. They've been in this United States for a very long time. They've been into all like retail businesses, motel businesses, IT businesses, and now we're kind of picking up on what they're leaving behind. They're
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
on to the next level. They're doing something else, just
Mhm.
like what you say, building real IT companies, being a CEO of big firms and all.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably that's my perspective. Our inability to kind of think out of the box and kind of okay,
Yeah.
let me do something different.
Yeah.
Because what's gonna happen if you do what everyone else is doing, you're gonna get what everyone else is getting.
That's true.
So if you want something different outcome, you gotta be thinking out of the box and doing something else.
And I think Mike also notified us it is time for the news. This is a news aspect.
All right.
So
Oh.
we can have a little bit of chatter and talk about what's going on.
I'm not so heavy on news, so Sushant, please help me out.
I'll try my best, but this is something that I don't know as well. This is something Mike puts up. We just give our own opinions and we try to like understand what's going on in the world, man. Crazy world we live in.
Crazy.
So
Let's
this
do
is
it.
section 2, news, more on news, like what happened around the world throughout the week. So that's what I show you guys, and it's up to you guys to judge.
Judge the news.
So first we have global and political news. On April 19, Vladimir Putin declared a unilateral Easter ceasefire in Ukraine. However, there hasn't been any stop on attacks by both parties, though.
So it was just like, hey man, we're trying to like stop fighting each other, but it's happening, right?
We're trying to stop. We're trying to stop, but we're actually not stopping.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This has been going for a long time.
It's been, how long has it been? How long are they fighting for?
What was it like? Was it
4 5 years?
4 or 5
3
years?
3 4 years.
I think it has to be more than 5 years, right? Because I think the issue started like in 2016, 2017, and stuff like that.
The issue started, but the attack,
war,
the first war started. I think it
But
was
educate
around
me on this,
2021.
Sushant. What's the actual issue that started this fight? What's
I
actually
think
going on?
if from what I've read, I think it's because Ukraine wanted to join NATO, right? So NATO was like America and all these other different allies and stuff like that. And one other thing about NATO is like if you attack one NATO country, you're kind of attacking everybody else.
Yep, makes sense.
So it's kind of like if you had a group of friends of 20 of you guys, and if one guy gets jumped, that all you guys go and
that was the primary reason.
That was primary reason. That's what they said. I mean, which makes sense for like Russia, but then again, at the same time, it's kind of like when has NATO ever like attacked another country? But I guess at the same time, they don't want someone close by. Why would you want your enemies closer? Kind of situation. But war is never the answer. I don't know. I mean, it's what are they trying to achieve? I don't know. I have no idea.
What's the total number of casualties till now?
I can look that up.
Can we look it up? Because
probably
if it's ongoing for 4 years, then
I think they were saying that more like Russians.
Really?
Yeah, they were surprisingly saying like Ukraine has repelled them a lot more, but I'm not sure how many. Like how many more? I don't even know.
31,000 Ukrainian soldiers.
Has estimated a total of 1 million casualties, including both military and
Wow.
civilian deaths. This includes deaths from 2014. Okay, this is for annexation of Crimea. This goes all the way back to 2014. But as of February 25th, 2024, Ukraine confirmed 31,000 of its soldiers being. What about Russia, though?
Russian.
I don't know. Because I know Crimea used. I remember seeing that in the news all the way back in the day too.
Oh, really?
It was.
So they've been fighting for a long time.
Oh, yeah, they've been fighting
so
for
it's
a
not a
long
new
time.
thing. So
Well, exact figures are very difficult to verify. Russian military casualties in the war in Ukraine range from hundreds to thousands, over 100,000. Yeah. Leaked U.S. intelligence documents had 110,000 casualties by February 2023. So that means more Russians have died than Ukrainian soldiers.
Yeah.
wow, that is unexpected.
Yeah.
I would assume more Ukrainian soldiers to be dying.
I mean, it's a smaller country,
smaller
right?
country, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Have you seen those videos on TikTok sometimes or like online where they just showcase like those Ukrainian drones and like
yeah.
Russian soldiers like no, they
Yeah,
don't, you know, and then just like
Are those videos even real?
I think so.
I think so.
I think so. But then again, what's real, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these days it's so hard to believe what you see on the internet.
Yeah.
So, going to another news for economy. Since April 2, global stock markets began to experience a downturn and increased volatility.
Tariff.
Tariff. Now we know what's driving the market. It's insane. It's insane. man.
How's that kind of hurt you? Like, has it hurt your business? Has it made it more challenging?
It's actually an opportunity for us
really
because what we teach people is kind of how not to lose money in the market, what different strategies are out there, you know. So this is kind of an opportunity, you know, but you know it sucks to see market going down.
Yeah.
So many investors are pulling their money out of the market right now, and you know, are investing their money into Europe and Australia because
this is the first time where the bond like market is also like a lot of them are selling the bond share along with the market going down, which has never happened before. Because usually like because you know US dollar is the like world currency, right? You know, because of the petrodollar, whatever it is. So usually when the market goes down, people kind of invest in bonds because the dollar is more valuable at that time, right? And I don't know, man. It's the first time. So not only are losing the dollar valuation, we're also like having like very volatile, a very volatile market. Like
it is. I mean, if you look at it, it's an opportunity too. Like everything's on a sale right now.
Yeah,
Just
that's why you
like-
have the money, right?
Right. So there's like pros and cons to it. So it just depends
People
on how
who
you look
saved,
at it.
and that's what it is. People who save the money is kind of like that. That takes me back to the 2008 financial crisis. I had a friend, and now he's really successful now. But like I remember, he borrowed money from his dad. He was a Turkish guy, and he took well advantage of the 2008 what do you call the financial crisis and the home. Dude would buy homes for in like which were owned for sale, not for sale, that went under foreclosure, right? Sorry, not for sale, foreclosure, for like 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000. And then he had one of his friends that was like a builder. And with him together, they were like buying homes for 80,000, 60,000. Because one of the mistakes that the banks did was at that time was they like once a house went on foreclosure, they would kick the person out of the house and they would have sea of homes. So that means the supply was so high that people were buying homes for cheap. And whoever got that first, man, they started flipping because people who saved money before, you know, like in Long Island, homes would cost like $350,000, $360,000, $400,000 because it's prime location, right? Now they're getting homes for like 220, 215. So imagine buying a house for like, you know, 60,000, 80,000.
That's a bargain right there.
It's a bargain, right?
Yep.
You buy a house in cash for 80,000, you fix it up for like 30, 40,000 at that time, right? And then you sell the house for 200,000. You do that like 5-6 times in a year. You're making money. That dude, I remember, like he used to work part-time in AT&T, and this was when I was still in college. Like he just did it for health insurance, working part-time, and he was driving a Porsche. Smart kid.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, I mean, he's still for good friends with me, you know. I see him you would not notice, like, you know, he was you would seem like that kind of person, but like very down to earth. You know, every time I like kind of like talk to him, he's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Very humble too.
Yeah,
had good times.
For this week in natural disaster, we have a death toll around 32 across South Korea for the wildfires.
Okay, 32.
32 people.
I don't know, man. I feel like 32 after seeing like what happens in California.
How much was in California?
The hundreds of thousands. I don't know. To check that up. But I don't think the wildfire in Korea is as bad as the one that happened in California.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, is this a regular thing? Just because I know in California it's a regular thing.
Yeah, California is regular.
The insurance companies now don't even insure your houses anymore because they know your house is going to be burned down.
Yeah,
so.
I think even like the celebrities lost their homes and they're crying, "Oh, my house, like $1 million house." I'm like, dude, you're a celebrity.
This is just the natural disaster from this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wait, and a helicopter crash during the operations in the wildfire. Oh, that sucks.
That's a good way to die. I mean, he died helping somebody. You know,
Yeah,
died a hero.
he's
Died
a
a
hero.
hero.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but then again, dying sucks.
So in science and technology, astronomers have detected dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide in the atmosphere of exoplanet K2-81b, located 124 light years away.
Wow. 124 light
That's
Yeah,
years.
a really long
we'll never get to say hi.
insane.
We'll never get to say hi
That's
until
insane.
we figure out teleportation or something, or maybe what do you call quantum computing and figure us
Probably.
figure out a way to get us there in
So
time.
what that
right?
really means is even if you travel at the speed of light, it's gonna take you
Yo,
124
years.
Can you imagine? I mean, the light, it takes about 8 minutes for light to come to Earth from sun, right?
yeah.
To think about it, 124 years. That's
insane,
crazy,
dude. And you know what? Sometimes it's like when like Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. Why? Like you're not going to even be alive, man.
You know, do you remember one of the posts I made on Instagram? What if Elon is not even from this planet? He's from Mars and he's trying to go back home. What if he's
just
trying
trying
to
to get
ship?
ET cool.
Yeah.
Like that
He
movie.
is sick. He is sick of this Earth, and then he just want to go back to
Oh,
Mars.
man, I think he's just crazy, dude. At this point, in time. But
But
still, like 120. I mean, like I don't know.
That's
What are you
crazy.
gonna do?
the thing about Elon and the people with Elon that wants to go to Mars is they want to create like they want to habitat two planets
Mhm.
so that
So
even if
what?
something happens to Earth,
So
like
there's some
the
backup plan.
yeah,
Okay.
there can be a backup plan. Like something destroyed the dinosaurs like way back, right, millions of years. So
Makes
if an
sense.
asteroid comes to Earth, that's the also proposal of like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Why not build like a amazing like security system that can like shoot out asteroids and stuff like that, as opposed to like, okay, listen, we're already in Earth, right, and we're fighting each other. What do you want to go to Mars and fight each other there too? Like
Probably.
it doesn't even make sense. Like
No,
you,
that gives, according to them, that gives them more probability of human society expanding
Uh-huh.
towards the years. So that's
Okay.
according to them.
And
That's
if you
not
look
according
at
to
it,
me.
see what's one of the problem. What's one of the like scary like त्यो हुन्छ नि कम मात्रामा भएको चिज क्या like land. You
yeah,
cannot make more land.
yeah.
Now the only way to have more land is go out of Earth and then find new planet and kind of start living there. So
But okay, that doesn't make sense though, because one of his main arguments is like, oh, we need to repopulate. We're not
Mm.
repopulating enough.
yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm
what
saying? You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like you're saying,
There's
oh,
not
we
enough
need to
population in
exactly.
Earth.
Like you're saying, like, okay, we're not repopulating, and now we want to go to Mars. But why not fix the first issue of repopulating, and why not also fix, like world hunger?
So you cannot force people to make more babies, but you can at least have something that okay, you want to go to Mars? Okay, I got something for you.
Yeah, only the rich people will go there, and then they'll fight
Probably.
over the red sand. and
You gotta
stuff.
be able to afford the.
Yeah, man, it's gonna go.
So the another news in science and technology is Beijing hosted a groundbreaking half marathon featuring humanoid robots competing alongside human runners. So in one section there were humans, in another section there were robots, and some of the robots made the 21-kilometer course.
They did.
Yeah, they completed it.
Did they beat the humans?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, they didn't beat the humans.
I don't think so.
I don't
Oh,
doubt it.
okay.
They were too slow. They were.
I
too
mean,
slow.
robots they
Okay,
don't
okay.
get tired, so
Maybe they just didn't give them enough like programming and speed to
Probably.
like
that's
win.
insane. China is doing some
Yeah, it's
insane
crazy, man.
stuff, man.
China, like I remember seeing China like 50 years ago on the TV. It was like a dump. It was dump, man.
Dump,
It
yeah.
was like people like living in poverty. I remember Foxconn, like the employees who were building those old iPhones, like they looked like they were in jail.
Wow.
And there were people killing themselves and all that stuff. But it's a communist country, but and even like I think whatever they did for the country itself, they did pretty good. Like the high speed trains, like they utilize their money for the people, even though they're like
Oh,
putting
absolutely.
the people down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
From
You don't have
freedom
to
of
pay
speech.
for medical. You don't have to pay for school.
Yeah,
Everything is paid for. The only thing you don't have is probably the freedom.
yeah, that's true, right? It's like a give and take at this point in
Yeah,
time. I mean, like
absolutely.
a lot of their kids are also like ridiculously smart as well, right? I think with Deep Sea coming out,
Yo, absolutely.
like they made it for what? Just their $5 million investment made like Nvidia's billions like look like nothing. You know what I mean?
How much did they spend for ChatGPT?
I don't know how much did they spend for ChatGPT. I think it was in the billions.
Yeah,
I
it was
think
like
it
the-
was around 2 billions, but the fact that the 5 million is just for like particular section. So before that, they like how many millions were spent. That it's not the accurate data.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
okay,
mean
okay.
China, right?
Yeah.
They're never going to tell
Yeah,
you.
They're never gonna tell
But
you.
they like
yeah.
they spend money for the people. That's one of the things. I think that's
Mm.
and you know what? I think America and every other developed country would even go further if they have kind of like done something similar instead of fighting about like the money and all that stuff. And I see a lot of like, especially when the trade war started, like a lot of like these Chinese like businessmen would come out like, hey, listen, at least we spend on our people. You guys
Mm.
are trying to take money away from your class, and then you letting the billionaires rule your country,
Mm.
which is actually an issue too. Like oligarchy and stuff like that. So man, it's so like it's so weird that we see people now like say, "Hey, good job, China," right? And while they're living in America, that I thought at one point people like, "Oh, China is this, China is that," right? And the way how they're utilizing like
The resources.
the resources, the internet, the media, like it's how powerful it is to change people's minds. And plus, it's also good because before media was like very very controlled, you only saw what they wanted you to see. Now you have like people who travel to different countries. They come and show you like, hey, this is what it really is like, and then you're like, wait, what? I was told like it was always like this, you know. But
Absolutely. Any country that invest in people is going to develop over time.
yeah, I mean, like, and they did it in 50 years. They did it in 50
That's
years, man.
insane. If you
That's
think about
insane.
it, 50 years.
Yeah, I've seen some of the buildings that they have in China. Man, my God, man, like that infrastructure wise, dude,
I mean, they have like buildings over buildings,
buildings over buildings,
and you feel like you're on the ground floor, but if you look down,
down,
oh,
on the
there's
other
a whole
side,
different
there's
city.
a whole different city. Exactly.
Yeah, that's insane.
So you have seen that videos too. So.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I don't know how much like engineering that went into that, right? Think about it.
Like, who thought it?
Yeah, like how, and they made it so efficient too, which is insane.
It is.
Which is insane. And then like the BYD cars.
BYD, I remember we were talking about it the other day.
Those cars are like, they look really, really good.
Really nice and cheap too when compared to Teslas and all these.
I think you can get a BYD in Europe, and the top of the line Tesla Model 3 and a top of the line BYD. The BYD top of the line is about like 2-3 grand cheaper. But the only difference is Tesla has like the software, so it kind of like maps your trip based off the superchargers, but BYD doesn't do that. But then the features of BYD, what you get for that money. I have a Model Y. I mean, I like the Model Y. I bought it before Elon went crazy, so just putting it out there. But I like the technology aspect of it. But I wish like it was a little bit more like the build quality is great, but it's very uneven, and I feel like I should have gotten more for my money.
Yeah.
The BYD kind of feels like you're getting more.
But
for
you've
your money.
never driven BYD, so you don't know the build quality.
Yeah, but I see you videos online just to see like you can always take a look at the features.
Yeah.
Now usability wise, how I'd probably use it, I don't know, but it's always great to have choices, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it always helps the consumer.
What are the chances we gonna have BYDs?
I don't think we'll ever have BYD.
But
yeah.
What's that for, Mike?
Yeah.
Next section.
Just
when I was getting emotional about my car.
Yeah. So we have to change the topic.
And we can talk about this on our way back.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a 992 NSX. That's all I want to say out there. So I'm grateful. Not the new ones, but the old ones. It's classic, old is gold, like me.
And
so next section, we have trivias for today.
All right.
So I'm gonna give you guys this. Hey.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah. You need
Oh,
this.
my bad.
Yeah. So
can you just say it? This time I have to write it out.
Section 3, we
I'll
have
go
trivia.
orange.
And we have sports trivia for today. So both of you watch EPL, right?
Yes. So let's do it.
Okay. So we will see.
So let's see who wins.
Okay, let's do it.
The first question is, which player scored the iconic last-minute goal to win City's 2011 and 12 Premier League title? So it goes from easier to harder.
If anybody gets this wrong, and they call themselves a football fan, you shouldn't show me your answer, by the way. If just like, but I guess it's so easy. Like,
so what's your answer, guys?
Sergio Aguero.
Both of you.
Aguero.
So I'm gonna click this and see if it's the right answer. Yeah, that's the right answer.
It's fine. Yeah. All right, so 1-1.
Yeah.
2 tabs.
So the next is, which goalkeeper holds the record for the most clean sheets in Premier League history? So is it Van der Sar, David De Gea? De Gea. So
don't disrespect the GOAT.
David James or Peter Cech?
I don't know. This one I know.
I would. Okay, let's do this.
I feel like this is one that I know why he put this question on there.
Why?
I'll tell you after I answer it.
So what's your answer, guys?
Peter Cech.
Peter Cech.
So let's see.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he had to put a little bit of Chelsea in there, you know.
Don't tell me why he's a Chelsea fan.
He is a
Are you
Chelsea fan. He's a Chelsea fan.
Okay.
Yeah, these
That's
are
not
just
he just
these
had
are
to-
just major facts.
Yeah, he just major facts. He just wanted a little bit of like Chelsea in there, you know.
That's fine. We love Chelsea.
Okay. So the third question is both of you 2-2. In which season did Pep Guardiola become Man City's manager? So since our guest is a Man City fan today, we have more Man City questions.
Okay. So when did Pep took over Man City?
So it goes from easier to harder.
Yeah, you should know this, man.
So what are your answers?
Hold on, hold on.
Don't show your answer to him.
I think he saw.
No. Okay, I think I'm going this one. Yeah.
So show your answers.
2015, 2016.
I'll say 14, 15.
I'm gonna go with the guest answer. Let's see.
What?
It's 2016, 17.
Because Leicester
So
won in
both of you
2016.
got it
I
wrong.
remember like. What, are you going by seasons?
Yeah. In which season did Pep Guardiola became the Man City's manager?
He came right after Manuel Pellegrini.
Yeah,
right?
so 16, 17. I
Oh.
16, 17. Oh man, I the 16 was the one the 16 was the one that I knew was 16 because the first season Leicester won in 2016.
Mm.
So I thought like they won from 2015 2016. That's a technically 16 season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
16,
way
17.
off. You were at least closer to 16, 17.
Damn, you're not really a City fan, are you?
If that's what you want to call it.
So- It's 2 each, and we go to the next question. Which club was relegated with the highest points total in a Premier League season?
With the highest points?
Yeah.
What do you mean the highest points?
Like they got really high points,
But they
even
still
though they
got-
were relegated.
They were relegated, but they got the highest points.
No, like really high points, but they were relegated. So like above 40.
So they still got 40 points. They still got relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
And what season? We don't know.
This is old.
This
Yeah.
is old.
This is old.
So it's getting harder.
Okay.
40 points.
40 points.
More than 40 points.
More than 40 points?
And
Yeah.
he still got
God
relegated.
damn, it still got relegated?
Who won in that season? Who won that season?
I have to check the facts later.
Okay.
Okay.
So
No, we can't ask any questions. This is a long time ago, I'm presuming, right?
I can't say that, but I'll give you a hint. It's when we started watching it, maybe.
Okay, in the 90s. All right. You know what? I'm gonna go with I
So
don't
what's
know
your
why.
answer, guys?
I'm going with Newcastle United.
I'm
Sorry
going
for my
with
spelling.
Reading.
Reading. So I'm gonna go with answer. And
Damn, West Ham United?
yeah. So I think it was around 2002-2003 season.
Wow.
Damn.
42 points.
42 points.
And they still got
Still
relegated.
got
Yeah.
relegated.
Were the last?
I think third. I get third last. I
Third
think.
last?
Yeah,
Okay, so
third
they're just at the cusp.
So 2-2.
Damn, that means how many points did the other teams get in the top?
Can we look at the
I'm
table?
gonna
for
Yeah.
look at that
Yeah.
table from that
I'm
season.
gonna look at the table after we
Okay,
finish.
sure.
2003, 2003 season. Okay, which is
So
2-2.
it's yeah 2-2. It's still 2-2. And the next question is: who is the youngest player to ever score in the Premier League? Wayne Rooney,
You have
James
you
Vaughan,
have Theo
Theo
Walcott
Walcott?
twice.
Oh, okay.
So we literally have only three
Yeah,
choices.
that's an error. So you only
Yeah.
have 3 choices.
Oh.
Three choices. Who is the youngest player to ever score in the Premier League? James Bond. You know what? I would
Wayne
say-
Rooney.
I would say Theo Walcott.
So I'm going with his answer. So
Which Theo Walcott's the right one?
It's James,
James
Vaughan.
Vaughan. What the hell is
I don't
James
think
Vaughan?
I don't think you know that.
I don't know.
that
What is
yeah.
he from like the 80s or something? Like
Yeah,
where they
maybe.
made like 15-year-olds
Yeah,
play?
90s, 80s maybe.
Okay.
He was really young, around like 16 years
Who
old.
did he play for?
I'm gonna give you the next time. I'm gonna put facts to you.
Facts. Just giving us answers. How do you know these answers are even correct in the first place?
I know these
That's
answers.
exactly what I
I
was
checked them like
saying.
twice.
We need to do fact check
Yeah,
on
so
I
we
don't
need some-
believe you.
Yeah, we need some AI in this.
Yeah. So the last is maybe the decider because you got 3 wrongs and 2 rights.
Okay.
Whose eyes is this? He's a Man City player or a legend? You have to guess.
Can you tell me what position he used to play?
Nah.
So this can be the decider
He's a legend
or a player.
or a player. That's a big eyebrows, I'm telling you.
That, that's literally the only thing that's kind of like letting me
I'm trying
guess
to
one
think
person.
who has big eyebrows in City. I don't think I know, but I think he's a midfielder.
Don't show him an answer. He can look at.
I already write it down. There's no guarantee that he's going to be correct.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay.
So both of you show your answers. What's the answer?
I don't know how to spell his name.
think-
Ike Gundogan.
I said James Garcia. He used to be a player back in the day. I think it's Gundogan.
It's the eyebrows, bro. It's Turkish. He's got that Muslim eyebrows.
Oh,
Man, I'm a
man.
better City fan than you are, man.
See, he left us. That's why I forgot about it.
Oh, that's a hate, right?
So what were your questions?
So
First of all, I want to know 40 points is still getting relegated.
yeah, let's look at
I
the
wanna see that
table. Let's
table.
look at the table from that season.
Damn,
Okay.
It's a 2003, right? 2003. ChatGPT. Are you sure, like, these ChatGPT got these answers correct too,
Yeah. So it was West Ham United 2002-2003, 42 points.
Can you pull up the table from the 2002-2003 season in Premier League? By the way, Liverpool won their second.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's-
I've been having like arguments with people saying that now we only have 20. I was like, why are you counting 20? Why are you saying 20? They're like making that whole case of top flight.
Uh-huh.
But
How many do they have total?
2. I mean, they're gonna have to, right? They're gonna win anyways.
I think this was
Yeah.
it.
Oh, look who's number 1 there, Manchester United. Hell,
Let's not look at
83 points.
so,
Glory days.
Sunderland. with
42 points.
42
Bolton?
points.
Oh,
Still
where's
got relegated.
Bolton?
44. So West Ham got 42 and got eliminated.
You know what's really crazy? There are like teams in that era that still like you never hear of today, like Charlton.
Yeah.
Charlton, like 49 points. They were in the Premier League. Birmingham, Leeds United. Okay, they come and go. Southampton, Blackburn Rovers. What happened? Can we see what happened to Blackburn Rovers? Because they won a Premier League too.
Yeah.
They have.
Like where are they playing right now?
They were a really good team back then. I think.
So they're still in the bottom half of the
Championship,
championship.
yeah. Not bottom half, mid table. I think.
No,
18.
I meant to say like the league before the Premier League.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
and Alan Shearer used to play from Blackburn, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then later he
And they
came to
can't even get
Newcastle.
up after that, after 2002, 2003. Damn, that's crazy.
It is.
Charlton, what about Charlton? That was another one I saw over there. Charlton. Damn, they went down to League One?
Yeah.
Wow.
They went on League One. Wrexham is doing well.
Yeah. Wrexham.
Wrexham is doing well. They've I think they're trying to get promoted and everything like that. Yeah.
All right. So
Premier League is
So this time's winner, it's our host Sushant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With three
First game.
Congratulations.
First game.
Looks
yeah.
like you are a better City fan than I am.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Since you're always hating on us, you. You need to know the facts to hate on somebody. So yeah, it totally makes sense.
I love how you spun that. I do a crazy number of research too.
Yeah, you do.
Hate.
You always have facts to tell. If you say something, okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, let me just,
I
just stay quiet.
It's just a logic that we use, and stuff like that. But hey, man, City is did well. What, eight Premier League titles? I mean, that's
Yeah.
Pep.
We were struggling during the beginning of the season, but
Yeah.
now they're doing okay.
I know,
At least
like
we're in the Champions League, so
yeah. At least it's an identity. I think it's more of an identity. 8 Premier Leagues, and then finally have one Champions League to
It's
show
not
for it.
bad,
I think it's
yeah.
not bad. Pep did pretty well, right? I think like one of the best managers, I think, in the Premier League after Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson definitely,
what do you have to say about his term in Barcelona?
I mean, La Liga is just a 2-team league. I mean, who wins it? La Liga. It's either Barcelona or it's either Real Madrid, right? I mean, you will never see like a team like Leicester win the La Liga for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not possible. It's just not competitive enough. I mean, it's trying to, but I don't think it's competitive enough. It's not fun. I don't watch the La Liga. The only time I watch La Liga is because of Ronaldo.
Yeah. Now let's go to section 4.
All right.
So
Okay.
in,
This is the fun part. This is the fun section.
Yeah, this is like the nonsense section
Okay.
of our
Reaction.
Oh, I thought we were
We
doing
have
the nonsense
news,
sections
we were-
already.
Well, that's more trivia.
Okay,
That's like
that's
more
a fun section.
That's a fun
That's a
section, and
fun
this
section.
is like total nonsense section.
With the news.
So in section 4, we see videos from the internet, like shorts mainly, and maybe sometimes Reddit, and just see what's going on.
All right.
Okay,
See what's going on. What's going on in this
So the first
crazy
video.
world? That has to be AI, bro.
So people, these are the videos that makes you turn off the internet. So people are just doing random shit.
You think that's
And-
an AI?
That had to be AI. There's no way like AI farts.
I mean, what if they kind of develop that defense system over time?
I don't think. What is that in the first place?
That's a wildebeest, and that's
A wildebeest.
cheetah.
Yeah, wildebeest has a defense mechanism like a skunk. I don't think so. And that's a
No,
cheetah,
no.
bro. Cheetahs are fast.
They are.
So something happened to him.
Huh?
Something happened to him.
I don't think so, man.
But you saw that fart coming out, right?
Yeah, but like I've never. Okay, first of all, I don't think no fart has what do you call a color to it. It's like air
What
is.
color was it?
That she was like it was like it looked like
Yellow.
I don't know. It looked like there was like air pollution in that area. Like, you know what I mean? You can see smog because there's so many millions of particles, happening. But that's
So someday, what we are going to do is we're also going to play a game. AI developed or AI?
AI or not
used,
AI?
right? Yeah, someday.
That's
But not
that'll
today.
be a fun
That's gonna
game.
be
Yeah.
fun.
That'll be a
Yeah.
fun thing.
So
That so many people are going
and
to get wrong.
people who watch this video comment as well what you want us to do.
Absolutely.
You know, and then we will play those games. Nothing vulgar.
so let's see the second video for
PG-13.
today.
Oh, that's a bad upside down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coronavirus. Coronavirus.
So their action looks like a god club.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm just hanging around. For reals, let's go hang out.
Did you see the dance
Oh,
move?
yeah, when they say, hey, let's go hang out, it has a whole new different meaning.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny though.
Now this thing looks creepy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
I love
Excuse
that.
my French.
I love
might
that
need to beep
by
that.
the way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see that
bats is
comment?
great.
You see that kid?
Yeah, he's just like vibing,
Yeah,
bro.
he's just vibing.
Wait, how do you
My
get
question,
in that club?
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask. How did he get into that club?
He's probably just a little man,
Now he probably looks 13, but he's 28.
Yeah,
Something like that.
28.
You know what I mean?
but he definitely knows how to vibe though.
Yeah. Got better moves than me.
Yeah, he's
I
got
can
that
tell
belt.
you that.
He's got the dress shirt going on. God,
Man.
That's not AI.
that's not AI.
That- yeah,
Definitely
that's
not.
So yeah.
Bats are like, I don't want.
Yeah,
It's weird,
freaking
weird
nice.
animals, man.
Weird, scary too.
Yeah.
I mean, they hang upside down. Like that tells a lot about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
animal.
So yeah, the third video for
Just
today.
remember that's that thing all I can think of. Who was that? Who was the Cardi B? Coronavirus. That's all I remember.
Coronavirus. Yeah.
So yeah, the third video for today.
It's getting real. It's getting real.
It's getting real.
That's it, yeah, bro. This is chasing a car. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Drive faster.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, oh no, Oh, you're not. Oh, he's just not gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Like what? You want to die without like it not looking at you?
I mean, if you don't look at it, you're not threatened.
Yeah, but that thing's okay. That's like a lion wanting to come eat you, but he's like, I'm not going to eat you if you don't see me. Like lions don't care, dude.
But he's inside the car though, like.
Bro, I would run it over with that car.
That's
If I see
exactly
that,
what
I would run it over too. Defense mechanism.
So what
kick
would
in.
you guys do? He would run it away. He would
I'll
run
probably
away.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll probably hit the brake and let it go to.
Yeah, let it go.
and then
Yeah,
drive,
like
drive
like
over
just,
him. Yeah.
just like, swerve a little bit,
Yeah,
like
swerve
not
a little bit, yeah.
let him not know what my next move is.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, what are you trying to do?" And then boom, hit him.
Yep,
He's like,
that's
"Oh,"
exactly
and
what
then
I
he
would do.
knows. He knows not to like chase people in cars no more. Go back to where you came from, bro.
Yeah. Go back to where you came from.
So that's AI.
Oh,
That's AI.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course,
yeah,
of
of
course.
course.
Yeah, I go.
If that thing is real,
If that thing is real,
I would be concerned.
I need scientists to go out there and figure that thing out.
Some
man.
people think those are real.
Of course,
Really?
of course.
There
Yeah.
are people who
If
think
that
those
thing
are
is real, even if I would be concerned right now.
Yeah. Oh man.
So the fourth video for today.
What's McCann's? Oh damn.
Come get a taste for America's favorite McCann's.
America's favorite McCann's.
Come get this McDouble.
Come get this McDouble.
And you know what? You owe money for a Chapulín Colorado. Don't take a Chapulín Colorado.
Yo, is it like one versus like who is that guy?
I think anyone can come in the middle and just fight.
Hey, jump, no. You guys are just watching, perro. Nobody jump in. I got this. Vente, Jollibee.
Come get this McDouble.
That's right.
Is that a real sport? Or what is that?
No,
Where's
that's all. That's just
Where's that video
something
from?
staged.
People do crazy stuff.
That's
That's what I'm showing you guys. Like internet is crazy. You get this
is,
crazy
it
video
is.
from. Like,
But you know what it is? The guy who made that video, he probably went through the effort of putting on the makeup himself because he wasn't in that. He's just like filming himself
Yeah.
while he's like, showcasing going in and out. But I have to give it, guy was talented. He basically narrated and had a storyline going on. He got us hooked in.
That was actually really funny.
That was
Yeah.
actually really
Come
funny.
get this McDouble.
McDouble, like the dialogue. Come get this McDouble. Nice.
so the fifth video for today.
What? What?
Oh.
I swear to God,
I was going
dude.
to say.
I swear to God, that guy's reaction, my reaction, the same thing. We all thought the same thing.
So if you see the comment section, it's gonna be the same
The
thing.
guy, go up top for a second. The guy said, "My timeline betrayed me." I thought, you thought, we thought.
I've never been so glad to
Have
have been wrong.
That's nice. The comment section is even funnier.
Yeah. We
The
all
way-
thought the same thing.
The
okay.
wave of disgust came and went over me. Oh man, I love the Instagram comment section.
Bro,
So
I'm telling
messed
you,
up.
I thought he was all up in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
Everybody
I was
found
like, what is he doing?
So this guy is just burning himself.
Okay.
just to record a video.
Yeah.
I do my own stunts.
That's a stupid stunt. I can tell you
man.
that.
I mean, why would you be doing that? Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, of course, it starts burning, right?
Yeah, he's gonna get barbecue walking.
I want to see the comment section in this one. I mean, that's just stupid, right? I ain't never lied that much. Let him cook.
That's okay.
That shit's messing up your vocals.
But do we have audio to this?
Yeah, we do. No.
No.
Yeah,
No.
we do. Let's see.
Cause I can't seem to erase the memories.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't
I
get the-
I guess people do like bunch of dumb stuff
Just to get
just to
views.
be viral
Just to
on,
get
you know.
viral, yeah.
Man, man, I remember like YouTube used to be like that back in the day. YouTube used to have those funny videos. We have to
Posting
search for
random
it.
videos.
Yeah, like like people singing. I remember there was this singer 𝖌𝖔𝖙𝖍. Like if like guys just go and watch it. His videos are super professional. But the moment my man starts singing, oh my God, he knows. It is on another level.
Wait, can we see what that is?
Like
Yeah.
without us getting striked, but his voice, dude, oh my Lord. Like you think he's gonna go hard, and then he starts singing, you're like, oh.
Tell me the name.
There was this one video, he had a
Tell the
really,
name.
really good looking model, and she was so hot. I'm sorry, 𝖭𝖚𝖃.
Okay.
It was in that first video. I think I forgot the name of the song. Just do 𝖌𝖔𝖙𝖍, something about you, girl. I think that was the name of the song. There's something about you. There's
Okay, there you
something
go.
about you, girl.
Something
Yeah.
about you, girl.
Oh,
okay.
you know what? Live reaction. We're going to
Oh,
see how.
I know this.
This one?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, this guy.
This one?
Yeah. His dance was.
Is it the same guy who has that song with all the diapers? Do you
No,
remember?
that's a different guy.
That's a different guy. Oh,
His dance moves, bro.
he's got
damn.
moves though.
He's
Look
got
at him.
moves. Oh damn.
The
Oh, look at
agility
him.
on his body, man.
She's really, really 𝖭𝖚𝖃. Oof. This is an old video too.
Oh,
You ready?
man. Bro, he does not even need auto tune. He himself needs the auto tune, bro.
Yeah, cut this off. I can't listen to this for more than 10 seconds. But the best part is when he goes out this way, like he moves his head. Oh man, that guy was awesome.
Funny.
So
Oh man, that's good times. Good times. That was when Instagram Reels and TikTok didn't exist. So that's how we found these. We find these gems, man, and we just played all day. My friends in college and university, and man, it was a good time. Just simpler back in the day. You had to know specifically what you were trying to like
You
look
need
for. Sit on Facebook just to get like people to watch the video and everything.
Yeah.
But man, people, I think you know what? That's what really started like dumb videos to get views. That's what I believe. Because YouTube, you'd see music and all other stuff.
But people like those things. People like to laugh.
Yeah, it does. I
And
mean,
if you make people laugh, you're famous and you're viral and you start making money
true.
yourself.
Like that's because you want them to laugh, right? That he was.
Yeah, he don't want to. Yeah,
He
probably
was being
thought-
serious.
yeah,
I remember like even before he released that song, like he would like do like vlogs and he would post like, oh, I'm singing this song. He would redo another song. I would sing like that. And like people were like, oh, this guy is, he's just funny to watch. And then when he finally released that song, like I think he got millions and millions of views.
He probably made a lot of money from those videos.
I think so. Probably he
Yeah.
did. It's his original song, so but but man, like, and I remember like when auto tune and editing became popular and stuff, and then reliving my past memories.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the whole this podcast about. It's like by being light, I'm glad you had fun. What do you think? What do you actually think about us?
I'm
doing this?
Yeah, I'm having fun. We started with some serious conversation, career and everything. Now we're having fun. We're laughing. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, goes to show
absolutely.
like everybody's human, right? You can have that side. You don't have to always put up that persona. You can be yourself. You know what I mean? Like
We all need to.
If you like this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next.